Coming up, we continue our coverage of 7 Disney resorts in 7 nights. This episode, we focus on Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. Coming up next. The Dis Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, specializing in helping you plan the perfect Disney World, Disneyland, or Disney Cruise Line vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dis Unplugged Roundtable discussion, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Warner, joined at the table this week by my amazing team, Craig Williams, Jonathan Thompson, Corey Patrick Martin, and of course our lovely and talented producer, Dustin West,
Thank you.
back in the production nook, along with Spawn of Bob, Brian Varley. I have all sorts of names. He also goes by Boy.
Boy.
He's been called Boy for about a decade now. Boy's going to be 30.
Next February.
It should be illegal. Told to stop growing, aging. Make me feel old. All right, we are going to talk about Coronado Springs. And before we get into it, let's go ahead and cut to Dustin's video, or a little overview look of the Coronado Springs Resort. All right. Thank you, Dustin, for that. Coronado Springs is going to go down in the history of our 7 and 7s as the most surprising resort I have reviewed in all the years I've been doing these hotel reviews of Disney properties. I loathed Coronado Springs. I thought it was it's a convention resort. It's Disney's only convention resort that's not a deluxe. It's, you hear stories about, the place being overrun with conventioners and crowded, and it's a long walk to get to your building. It's a long walk to get to the pool. And, I never liked it. I wasn't a fan of the Southwest theme. I didn't like the Pepper Market. Maya Grill sucked. There was nothing about this resort that I found redeeming.
When you think of staying on Disney property, Coronado Springs never really comes up.
You don't hear it. It's an absolutely overlooked resort. And let me tell you something. It should not be. Kathy Whirling is going to beat me to within an inch of my life for saying this, but Coronado is everything Caribbean Beach should be and isn't. I got to tell you, I was so blown away with Coronado that I cannot wait to stay there again.
The place was spotless.
Immaculate. Immaculate resort.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there are Disney resorts that are dirty, but this one was particularly clean. There was just a feel to it that it looks so well maintained from the maintenance of the exterior of the buildings, the details, the paint. You don't see any wear. Inside, it's just absolutely beautiful. And again, Southwestern / Mexican theming at Coronado Springs. It is a big resort, but so is Caribbean Beach. And I don't hear people whine about that, but I hear about it at Coronado all the time.
I really, from my personal experience, and I didn't go out with like a yardstick or anything, so I didn't measure this. But to me, it doesn't feel any larger than Caribbean Beach or Riverside. Those are the other two moderates that are big and spread out. It feels about the same size to me.
I think actually a little smaller than Caribbean Beach.
It might be. I like the size of it. It's nice. It's spread out, so you're not all close together to like the loud noises of like the main lobby and stuff like that. You can walk around and you can actually spend time just going for a walk and seeing different things.
See, well, in my opinion, though, Coronado Springs is a deluxe resort wrapped in a moderate price tag. The rooms I thought were beautiful. The room that we had, I thought these were newly renovated. These were renovated 4 years ago. So this was not a brand new room.
I was shocked how nice the room was.
It was beautiful.
And when you talked about Caribbean Beach, there's no comparison with the room that we had at Caribbean Beach with this one.
Oh,
we were in the Nemo room or something at Caribbean Beach.
Yeah, we had a Nemo themed room, and we remember the light fixture was hanging from the ceiling.
Disgusting.
It was
This room is beautiful.
Well maintained. Housekeeping does a great job at this resort, at least when I'm looking at the room that we were in. And very, understated, elegant feel. Size of the room is similar to other moderate resorts. One of the interesting things, though, is that there is a room service menu here. Again, something you don't see at the other moderates. Other moderates will do pizza delivery to the rooms, but you can actually get breakfast and some smaller dinner items delivered via room service, as well as pizza, things like that. These are some of the tweaks and adjusts that they did with Coronado Springs because they have a business clientele. They have like the convention center. So there were certain things they had to put in place in order to attract those business travelers that I think are some nice options. So having that room service menu for breakfast and dinner, and again, the dinner room service menu isn't extensive, but it's better than pizza. So, and for breakfast, It was decent. You had some hot and cold options, and excuse me. So, but room very, very comfortable, very comfortable. I think of all the moderates, I found this to be the most. All the moderates we've looked at, I found this room to be the most comfortable.
The design was beautiful. My favorite thing in the room, though, was usually moderates have kind of like a curtain or something that you can pull back to separate the bathroom. This had these two huge wooden doors that you could slide closed, and it actually offered a lot of privacy behind there.
Yeah, because that curtain it doesn't help with sound that much,
or the light.
Or light. Yeah. This was a nice touch.
This was. And for those of you watching the show via video, you're seeing the pictures and things that we're putting up. For those of you listening, you can check out all the pictures, video, blogs, and all the other information we have from our 7 and 7 coverage by going to disunplugged.com, or see our show notes page. And with each one of these that goes up, we're adding more information, like I said, to the blog and the photo galleries and videos and all that other good stuff that we did. So we're all in agreement. The room that we had, fantastic. Perfect. For those who care, the room number that we were in was 6325.
We were in the Ranchos section, so I don't know if the design of the room is different for every section, or if this was.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. I know, we were a good distance from the main building, but it wasn't a bad walk. Now, in excessive heat, or if it's raining, that might not be a fun thing to do.
Well, that's why I had no intentions of wanting to like this place, because anytime my family stayed there in the past, we've been way far in the back. It's been around summertime, so whenever you start walking right next to that lake, mosquitoes will just bite you up real quick. And I've just never had a positive experience there. And as soon as we got in and looked at the room, I don't remember what the rooms looked like last time I was there, but I don't remember it being that nice.
They were beautiful.
I've never stayed in that section before, but it was great.
Now, also, in terms of rooms, some of the things that are different about Coronado Springs that you are not going to have at the other moderates, you have 31 junior suites, 10 VIP suites, 5 executive suites, preferred rooms, and I'm taking this information from the FAQ on our resorts board on disboards.com. We'll have a link to this as well. Stitch and Pooh's mom is the one who is maintaining this thread. But preferred rooms are located in Casitas 1, 2, and 3, all near the main registration building, which is also where the food court, lounge, and gift shop are. And they now have business class rooms. This is something they just started doing. They have business class rooms, and it's not open all day, but they now have a concierge lounge for these business class rooms, which I think a couple of you got a chance to take a look at.
Yeah, we did. It was kind of interesting the way that it was built, though. They just converted 3 existing guest rooms into one big kind of lounge on the first floor. And the exterior doors were still there, which was kind of odd to me. But, it was really nice inside. They had couches set up. There was a little kind of food area. There was a couple TVs. And I think this is the only lounge that has a Wii for people to play.
That's what the lady said inside.
She was very proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the lounge in there. I've had the chance to be in a couple of them, and there was a lot of space in there. There was only one lady sitting there, and this was at 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. At all the other ones, you're going to find people sitting in there starting to drink and getting all those appetizers.
Yeah, but all the other concierge lounges are open all day. They usually open from 7 a.m. in the morning till about 10 p.m. at night. This one is open from 7 to 10 a.m., and then again from 5 to 10 p.m. 7 days a week.
And this was a little different. You don't get a huge view. So if in other deluxe resorts, you kind of have this big kind of draw. So in Animal Kingdom Lodge, it's up on the very top floor, and you can look over.
This was on the first floor, wasn't it?
This was on the first floor, and there were no real windows. So it was kind of a little weird. But
we walked past it 3 or 4 times, didn't even realize it was there.
You would have no idea. Yeah.
Well, Pete, you said that this is different from the other moderates, mostly because these are business type folks that are staying here. This is the convention,
right? They have to be able to compete with other convention properties, including other Disney convention properties that do have concierge lounges for their executives that do have suites and hospitality suites and things like that, which are important when you're doing conventions.
And another amenity they have here that I like, they have a gym that you won't find at any other moderate resort on Disney property.
They also have a mini spa, basically. They do massages. They do manicures, pedicures, I believe.
And they also have a hair salon.
A hair salon. Again, not something you find at most moderates. These are things that you would find at deluxe resorts. Yet, if you're going to look at the pricing, if I get that tab up. Hold on. There we go. And find my place here. Sorry, I'm not better prepared, but deal with it. looking at a standard view room, maximum of 4 guests, you're looking at value season about $165, $167 a night. Peak season, you're going to look at about $258 a night. And that is consistent with what you see at other moderates. For example, a Caribbean Beach, you're looking at a range of $162 a night, off season to $253 a night. And I'm sorry, I know, I thank God while this is broadcasting, I am literally on the other side of the continent because Kathy Warling is going to hunt me down and kill me for trash talking her beloved Caribbean Beach. But I'm sorry, Kathy, this was better. This was just better. The price is the same, yet you have all these other amenities you do not have at any of the other moderates. In addition to this beautiful room that we saw, how clean this resort is.
Yeah.
There's some walking involved, but I don't know. That was okay for me. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
I need all the exercise I can get. And it wasn't a bad walk.
It wasn't.
The grounds are absolutely stunning. The grounds are absolutely beautiful.
I think on one of the maps it says like the main path that kind of goes all the way around, it's like 0.75 miles.
Right. Or
So
something like that.
That's not that bad.
It really isn't.
No.
It really isn't. But you get back to my...
And it's a nice walk too, because they've done a great job at keeping up not only the cleanliness of the hotel areas, but all the plant life and the stuff that, like the landscaping that they've
it's
done
beautiful.
there is
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful, especially when you get back into that area where we were staying, which was that more desert, cactus, big rock, like that kind of agriculture.
And actually, according to the FAQ on the resorts board, the distance around the whole lake is 0.97 miles, so just under 1 mile. So if you are a walker, if you are trying to get some exercise while you're on vacation, 1 lap around that lake is 1 mile.
There you go.
And if you are on the other side of the lake, away from the main building, the main registration building and food court, you're pretty much going to be close to the main pool area, the dig site.
Yeah.
We were very close to that.
Which is a really cool pool.
It's a very nice pool.
That Mayan temple.
You'll find the pool bar out there. You'll find the arcade. There's a whole playground area for the kids. There's a huge hot tub. There's a slide.
There's even a volleyball court.
Yeah, there's a volleyball.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I've mentioned that this is a convention resort. If you are concerned about convention traffic, on the FAQ thread there is a list of all the conventions scheduled for 2013.
Wow!
So you can go take a look. No, she did a great job. She did a great job with this FAQ. The amount of information in here is ridiculous, and nice to see that there are people who are passionate about Coronado Springs. I'm a convert to the cause. This was a great resort.
This was the one before we had done the other 7 and 7s. I had never been to Caribbean Beach, and on this 7 and 7, I had never done Coronado Springs before. So the amazing amount of times that I've been to Disney, lived here for years, never stepped foot on Coronado Springs. So I finally had a brand new experience when we went there. And I don't know, just like what you were saying, I don't know what everybody was talking about. I thought it was absolutely beautiful.
We were really impressed, all
Yeah.
of us. And let's talk about the food, because one of the more maligned aspects of Coronado Springs is the Pepper Market, which is their variation on a food court. Now, this has changed over the years, but some things I guess have remained pretty consistent. You get a card when you get seated, with empty boxes on it, and you go around to different stations and pick out what it is you want. And then for each thing you pick out, that station will stamp your card with what it is you got. And then that's the bill you pay at the end of your meal. There are servers there. They're not bringing the food to you, but they are taking care of getting your drinks. You can get your mugs refilled while you're eating there. And
it's basically a buffet, except you have to keep track of what you're eating.
Right.
You know, in that way. Well, I guess I'm wrong, though. Breakfast
is served from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., lunch from 11:30 to 2, dinner from 4:30 to 11. And we have the menus for the Pepper Market on the Diz. We'll have links to that in the show notes page as well, disunplugged.com. But this is a large food court. And, you know, I hear so many bad reports about, I got to be honest, I thought it was great.
It was great.
Yeah.
They were very accommodating. Like I said in the last show, that, you know, I'm trying to do different things with my how I eat. For breakfast, they had their omelets were already made, so it was a little different from the Art of Animation food court where you make your own omelet. These were already made, and they had cheese in it and a bunch of other stuff I really didn't want. And I asked for an egg white omelet, no cheese, you know, some vegetables in it. She said no problem. They went in the back and made it. It took a little time to do,
she
but
said
I was willing to wait.
It's no problem, but it'll be about 10 minutes.
Yep.
Right.
And that's fine.
Very accommodating.
I got the breakfast frittata with bacon. It was $7.99. This thing was massive. If you're not a big breakfast eater, one of these feeds two people. Unless you're like really ravenous. One of these could have easily. Actually, I couldn't finish it.
Well, that's how everything was there, though. From what I got, the portion size was just ridiculous. Like I got the Mexican eggs Benedict burrito, and you could have had 3 people eating it. I ate the entire thing by myself, but I felt like crap for the rest of the day.
It was funny because it was like this tortilla, and then as you cut it open, it was just solid scrambled eggs.
There had to be 2 dozen eggs.
It
in
looked
there.
like it for sure.
And then the quesadilla that I got for lunch, the girl put, I think, 4 handfuls of cheese.
Oh, yeah, you warned me because I got it after you.
And it wasn't small handfuls. Like, she got as much as she could in her hand and threw it down on the tortilla. Cheese grease was just dripping out. It was almost disgusting. But
It wasn't
You ate it.
almost.
it was another thing. Like, you could have, it was $10. You could have split it between 3 people, and it would have been no issues.
Yeah, for breakfast I just had the sausage. What is it? Sausage, biscuits, and gravy. Just biscuits and gravy. You can't really mess it up. It was good.
Okay, and one of the best things I've ever had at a food court, I had here for lunch, the honey adobo chicken with mashed potatoes for $13.99. I could eat this every day.
Yeah.
Corey and I both had the prime rib, and it was really funny the way this happened. Corey wanted horseradish to put on the meat, and so
Like straight horseradish, not the mix, just the burn you.
Well, it was really funny because the woman had no idea what you were saying. She was I don't know what nationality she was, but she didn't understand. And so another person came out to help her, and they brought out the huge Costco 3-gallon horseradish thing, and they plop it into this huge container. So I think we each had like a cup of
I
horseradish.
think we had more horseradish than prime rib.
Yeah.
It's not a salad, you know. I think she thought it was a salad.
But she also like sniffed it first. Like she
Yeah.
opened up the container, put her face in, and smelled it,
And then handed it to you?
Oh, she was disgusted with it. I think she was. It was really funny.
Also, the baked goods were very, very good. I tried the cinnamon roll in the morning. I had a piece of German chocolate cake with lunch. It was just ridiculously good. I've got nothing bad to say about the Pepper Market.
I agree.
No.
No.
Craig does, but no one else does.
But what
Grease.
did I? Oh, yeah, but I could have easily told her whenever she was already going to grab more cheese. I could have said, no, that's fine. But
Was that for your breakfast or lunch?
the quesadilla was for my lunch. The breakfast, I didn't ask because I just thought it was going to be. It looked normal size, but then as soon as you cut into it, it's cheese, eggs.
One thing I liked about that quesadilla station was there was a topping section.
Yeah, that
where
was
you can
big
just
perk.
load up on guacamole.
Oh
and
yeah, it
all-
was just
and
there
all
with a
of the
big spoon. You
toppings.
could take as much as you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that part of it.
The other dining option at Coronado Springs is the Maya Grill, another place that gets so-so reviews. I'm not going to say that my meal at Maya Grill was amazing, but it certainly wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad.
Before we get into the food, I just remember that our server had some funny issues with the water.
Yeah.
Didn't really particularly understand.
Oh, right. When I asked for, I always ask, it's Florida, so I won't drink the tap water, and no one should because it's disgusting. So whenever we go out to dinner, I always say like a bottle of still bottled water. And what did he do?
He brought you
Me personally, a
bottle of Dasani.
water, and then everybody else, he was pouring tap water. I'm like, oh God, no, honey, the table gets the water. Okay. But I'm not going to say that. We're not going to do a food review of Maya Grill, but
I thought it was very good.
it was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. I'm not. Oh my God, I would love to have had that honey adobo chicken again.
It was basically, just so people know, the menu, and we're going to have it on our site, but the menu is mostly, what you would expect at a higher-end Mexican restaurant, tacos and stuff like that.
They also have a great grab-and-go location right off the main lobby. That's where you're going to get predominantly where you'll get your refillable mugs, and you'll refill your mugs. But also, lots of snacks and...
They even had like chicken tenders and stuff, like kids' meals. It was kind of like a mix between like a sundry shop and a quick service.
Yeah.
And they had that homemade gelato there.
They had what seemed like a full
That's right.
bakery. They had all kinds of pastries there as well.
This was I meant to mention this with the rooms. This was one of the resorts where we had issues with the charging privileges doing the online check-in.
Oh yeah,
and I think I had to go back twice to check in. I mean, they were very friendly and they were very helpful, but I ended up having to go back to check in twice to get that fixed. To the point where what I noticed after this, I'm not doing online check-in until they get all the bugs worked out of my Magic Plus. Because like I said, I think it was 4 out of the 7 resorts we had issues. I'd done the online check-in in advance, put all my credit card information in. It was the same for every one of these resorts. 3 of them, it was no problem. 4 of them, I had issues. So from now on, I'm not even going to bother with online check-in. Didn't save that much time anyway. I mean, when you have to keep going back and giving your credit card.
It really depends on how many people are in line in front of you at online check-in. Typically it's short, but sometimes they can have a line too, and you might have to wait.
One of the things about this resort that I noticed, and I guess maybe because it's a convention resort, for a resort of this size, the arcade was the size of a closet.
That's essentially what it was.
The arcade is located outside, right alongside the main pool, and was for a resort this size, I couldn't understand why. I thought
Probably
maybe
because it's the convention resort. Their arcade is Rick's Lounge.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, considering the arcade's location, like we were talking about earlier, you have this massive pool. It's one of the larger pools, in my opinion. And, with the volleyball court, the playground, the bar, everything is so big and huge in that pool area. And there's like a tiny little arcade. So it is bizarre. You'd think that they'd want to have something bigger there. Because we love the arcades. We go there like every time we go to one of these resorts. We hit up the arcade.
But who else actually does that?
That's I've just never been a big fan of arcades, so it's never really something I notice.
I'll go in the cool off.
I think our family used to do it like just to kill some time at the end of the night. Yeah. But for the most part, after I was older than 10, I think we stopped doing it.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but when you went as a kid, your mom would give you like souvenir money before you go, and part of that I would always use for the arcade card or to get tokens or however they did it back then. And that was part of my vacation every night coming back from the theme parks or early in the morning before we go out, going to the arcade. So, yeah, if I was staying here at Coronado, that I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing because I do love the arcades. And, yeah, it was definitely a disappointing arcade. But what else? What else about...
Well, I think one thing we noticed that surprised us was the Marina. That there used to be recreation offerings, like you could do boats and different things.
The
and this
building
was
is still there.
Yeah. You could even go up to like the windows, but they had just shutters over them. It's really weird.
They said they were doing it seasonal, but they weren't sure if they were bringing it back.
The problem is here is this, and I'm sure that's cool, a cool thing to do, but this is one of those resorts where this lake is isolated. It's not like you can go to downtown Disney or you can go to Epcot.
Well, the same is true with Caribbean Beach, and you can rent watercraft there.
What type of watercrafts could you rent there in the past? Because it's not even that big of a lake.
Well, it's big enough you could take the water mice out on it, at least. I don't know.
I did the Surrey bikes also.
Right.
You could rent those.
Yeah, there were no Surrey bikes here.
I could see those being big, but like if I wanted to go boating, I'd still rather go over to like Contemporary or
absolutely.
one of those. Like
absolutely. I would tell people, sure, absolutely Contemporary, Poly, Grand Floridian, Wilderness Lodge. You have access to Bay Lake and Seven Seas Lagoon, so there's a lot to see. Even Port Orleans, Old Key West, downtown Disney, all share that Sassagoula waterway, and you can go back and forth to those resorts. And so, yeah, these ones like Caribbean Beach and Coronado that have these retention ponds basically in the middle of them, but still, it's there but closed, and that was kind of odd. No shortage of places to drink or smoke. Oh, yeah. This is actually, if you're a smoker, this is your resort because there's a smoking section every 5 feet.
Yeah, that main walkway. It's like every little intersection of pathways that you see the ashtray box.
And again, I think this is something they do for this convention business, especially with the bars. I mean, there's, these little lakeside bars like, which was the name of this one? Laguna. Then, of course, inside you've got Rick's Lounge. You've got there's a couple of other ones. There's the pool bar. Mm-hmm. There's no shortage of places to drink here. And Rick's Lounge is actually really, really nice.
I couldn't believe it when I walked in there.
And what was funny is, you would think that it would be normally at the other resorts, it's based on like right at afternoon, and then late at night the bars get busy because people are coming back from the theme parks. Here it depends on when the seminars are letting out.
Right.
So if they have like 15 minutes in between seminars, it's like the bar gets crowded, then it's disappeared again.
Exactly.
It's really elegant, though, Rick's Lounge. I wish we would have stayed a little bit later.
Yeah, that was one thing. Rick's didn't even open until 6 o'clock.
Yeah, we were just heading to dinner around that time.
But as I said, when you look at these different elements, these are the things you expect in a deluxe.
Yeah.
Yet it's a moderate. And I have to be honest, it completely blew me away. It completely blew me away. I would go out of my way to stay here. I would go out of my way to stay here. It was relaxing. It was beautiful. Food was great. Service was wonderful. Just the theming and the atmosphere is I again give it very high marks. And no, I'm not giving all the resorts in this very high marks. As a matter of fact, the one I think we're going to talk about next, it's not going to get high marks. But Coronado Springs, this place is overlooked. This place is overlooked. A lot of times there is availability here when there's not availability other places. Now, sometimes it works the opposite, too, because of the convention. Depends on what convention's in. But you really need, if you either have never stayed there or stayed there in the past, give this place a second look and go into it with an open mind. It is different than the other moderates. But in my opinion, the differences make it better, not worse. And I don't know. Look, there were conventions going on while we were there. I did not find it to be overly crowded. Maybe they were small conventions. I don't know.
No.
But
I didn't find that either. Every once in a while you'll see a lanyard, but that's about it.
They started piling in later at night, but it still wasn't overwhelming.
Yeah, it wasn't overwhelming.
There was like an orange juice convention or something.
And they stuck to the bars mainly. So
in my opinion, you were kind of encapsulating how people who haven't tried this should give it a shot. And I think as someone who had never been there before, and spending that one day there, the only negative thing that I could even possibly think about at this resort is not even a criticism of the resort itself. It's its location. It's not on a river. It's not on the monorail loop. You have to take a bus everywhere you go, or you have to drive a car.
Same thing if you're staying at, pretty much like any of the All-Stars.
But for me, that's a good comment. That's the only bad thing that I can think of is that it's the transportation.
Yeah. Well, we also had that one random happening where the manager walked into our room unannounced.
Oh, that's right.
But that was like a 1 in a million thing.
Right, and I kind of gave her a good talking to. We were all sitting in the room, and normally it's supposed to knock and go housekeeping and come in. Well, she didn't. She just flipped her key and walked right in. And I'm sorry. And I came out. I said, I went chasing her. I'm like, since when? Since when do you guys walk into a room without knocking? You know better. Don't do that again.
Yeah.
But I didn't even remember that until you mentioned it. But I think that's a random one-off thing.
Everything else was just, it was so great that it's hard to remember little things like that.
I remember on the ride home, I was telling Julie, I'm like, we need to stay here with the kids.
Yeah.
I think we would have a great time. That main pool area and the playground, and there is a distance to walk, but we like that. We like to let them run and run and run. Go to sleep early. Keep running.
Well, you let them run the length of the Detroit airport to try and get them, knock them out for their flight. So yeah, again, high marks to Coronado. This is one to consider when you're planning your next trip. That if you want to try something different, or if there's availability issues, give Coronado a look. You may find yourself a new fan like I am, because I will absolutely go out of my way to stay at Coronado again. That's how much I liked it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not usually a big fan of the moderates. I don't dislike the moderates, but I tend to stay more at the deluxes. This is a moderate that reminded me of a deluxe, but just without the price tag. So that's saying something. That'll do it for our coverage of the Coronado Springs Resort. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back with you with another
show.
Sorry, I just completely lost that.
That's okay.
We'll just leave it in. We'll be back with you. We'll be back again with another episode covering our 7 resorts and 7 nights. Thanks for being with us, everyone. And remember, open your mind, explore the world. Or is it save the cheerleaders, save the world? I forgot.